This edition of our podcast is brought to you by 360 Health and Well Balanced Nutrition.
Welcome to the Health Geeks Book Club podcast. Listen in as Kristen Norton and Eleanor Russell review all those great health and wellness books you've been wanting to read or you have read and want to talk about. Here's Kristen and Eleanor.
Today we're talking about what Dr. Lyon calls the minimum effective dose of training. So we've been talking a lot about protein, Eleanor, and eating our protein and having this muscle-centric medicine approach. But we really haven't talked about moving our muscles or building our muscles through exercise yet. But that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we've talked about it from other books. You know, we've read a book called Spark, which was a revolutionary science of how exercise is important. And I'm happy that we're talking about it today.
Me too. And we talked about that book. Also, I loved Michelle, I can't remember her last name, but she had the POP approach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Joy Choice.
The Joy Choice, yes, thank you, which is about making exercise happen, right? How we can turn it from a chore to something we enjoy.
Yeah, and Dr. Lyon starts her book with a kind of something that I caught on to. She said, we're so goal-driven, and I've heard a lot about goal setting in my 30 years. I'm only 30. And, and she says, maybe we should talk about standards. And I like that. I went, oh, what's she talking about there? And that ties into something that I kind of like too, is a longer term instead of a goal for I want to be fit, you know, and then be specific by Christmas. And, you know, there are all those, the SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable. Is that realistic? And, you know, is it a time sensitive thing? Well, we're all focused on that. She said standards, and standards are more like, who are you and who are you becoming? Mm-hmm. And I really like that because I think we're all on a journey and we're all becoming something. But how about let's put some standards on that? Like I want to be an honest person. You know, I am an honest person. You make affirmation statements. We're into those things these days too. So what's your bottom line that you won't fall under is your standard, I think. And so I'm an active person and I work out 3 times a week. You know, that's who I am.
And we've learned that identity method is helpful for behavior change.
Exactly. And saying it out loud and to yourself. But that idea that, I will not let myself not work out 3 times a week is different than a goal. Mm-hmm. And that's a standard.
It's a standard.
And I'm not, that statement I just made is not reflective of my lifestyle, but I would like it to be.
Yeah.
So the idea of training against a standard as well as some goals.
Yes. And we're going to talk about that today. If you are just tuning in, we have been talking about the book Forever Strong by Dr. Gabrielle Lyon and breaking it down. We have a new well approach where we pick a topic from the book. Here we're on chapter 9 where she's getting into her training and exercise recommendations and a bit into chapter 10. So the W is what we're talking about. E is we explain it, kind of educate you on the topic. And then the 2 L's are just linking it back to real life and, you know, leaving you with something to try. Like, let's try something at home. And we hope that this new format really helps you as much as it's helped us kind of slowly digest this information and interpret it and take our time with this material. So having said that, she says it plain and clear. Exercise is your body's birthright, and training is a baseline requirement for wellness.
And I keep going back to the 7 circles where they talk about functional exercise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Versus, you know, this 3 times a week, I'm going to move my body really hard.
And they did the outdoor gym where they're lifting
logs.
Yeah.
Or, well, here's a fun thing. My son was visiting, and he's a very big guy. And I have a little grandson that's getting to be a big guy, but he's like 71 pounds.
So my son is taking his arm and lifting the kid off the floor, you know? And then the kid's laughing. And then another time he's got the kid in both arms across chest and doing, biceps curls with him. And then he's doing push-ups over his head with his kid.
That's
the
a
kid's
fun
loving
workout.
it. Yeah, and to me, that's functional. It's like
yeah.
build this stuff into your life so that it's natural, it's fun, and it's amazing, that there was so much joy in that for me as a grandmother and a mother to watch the activity. It was just great.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I think, okay, well, that's why I work out, so that in that moment I can lift that child and have fun with them. And
but he was doing reps. He was
Yeah,
doing like 10 reps, 2 sets, and I'm going, this is so cool.
Well, the reason she says it's non-negotiable is she says, when you stop moving, you lose strength fast. Mm-hmm. You can expect to lose up to 12% of your strength for every week of inactivity.
Yes.
So if you're not lifting that kid every week, then,
Get a cow.
get a log.
That thing about if you can lift a calf every day, you keep doing it, pretty soon you're lifting the bull, But
I don't think many of us listening, I don't think our lifestyles are, we have logs to lift or cows to lift. So we are kind of left with
dumbbells,
gym equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Keeping house, you've got bookshelves, you've got, groceries, there are things that you can find to hoist and go up and down steps with and that kind of thing too.
And I would argue you got to get to the gym so that you can be strong enough to do those things.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay. But the point about muscle loss, the other concern is if you're hospitalized, you really learn this because every day in bed in a hospital, you're losing muscle mass. And a lot of times they don't pay attention to that. Now, some of these care centers are beginning to say, you can't move your left leg, but you can move your right arm. So let's do it, because you've got to pay attention to the loss of muscle is real.
Yeah.
And recovery then is so much slower.
And she admits that you'll ebb and flow out of this. Like maybe you have an injury or you get sick. And but that you've got to get back into the muscle building to stay functional when you can.
Yeah, her statement is the Lyon protocol, which she is promoting in this book, prioritizes muscle as medicine.
Yeah.
And training is a mandatory component.
Are you ready to take control of your health and wellness journey, but don't want to do it alone? Look no further than Well Balanced Nutrition. We offer personalized nutrition and wellness coaching tailored to your unique needs. Our integrative, whole-person approach combines the latest evidence-based practices with compassionate guidance. Whether you're managing health concerns or seeking to optimize your well-being, take the first step towards a healthier, happier you by booking a free 15-minute consult with one of our registered dietitians at wellbalancednutrition.com. Well, you said we set goals and they're kind of sometimes aesthetic goals. I like that she calls out, we don't want to be superficial and let vanity strip away the fact that our bodies were meant to rise up to challenges and demanding things, and we can and are meant to be strong and powerful. And it's not about vanity. It's not about how you look. So I like that she pointed that out. So chapter 9 goes into her recommendations, which are pretty much in line with kind of the standard 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise a week. And she breaks it down into the different types of exercise you can do. Resistance training, endurance training, and high intensity interval training. Mm-hmm. So resistance training is that, lifting heavy weights, or it could be body resistance or bands. Mm-hmm. Endurance is, your cardiovascular running, zone 2. We talked a lot about zone 2 when we read Peter Attia's book.
Yes.
And then the HIIT, the, quick
high intensity
on, and then a break off. High intensity on and a break off. What's your favorite type of exercise?
Oh,
Out of those
aerobic.
three?
Aerobic.
Yeah.
It's just meditative. I think that's one of the things. But I do enjoy lifting.
Do you?
Oh yeah, and there's something when I do that overhead pull down thing. I don't know what you call this stuff, but you go and you have overhead weights and you lift your arms and you pull them down. And you're working your traps.
Okay.
I get the best endorphin rush from that. It's like, oh, that's so good.
Yes.
Have you found that in your?
I really enjoy lifting weights, and this year has been on a journey to lift in a way I haven't before. I've just done like dumbbell training, heavy dumbbells, and kind of hit style things like that, but not this heavier bench press or deadlift. And
she's amazing, folks.
It's very empowering and fun. And my least favorite is the cardio.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to
Is it
kind of
'cause it
push
takes
myself
time?
in that direction.
Is
No,
it-
I just don't like it. I don't know. It's boring.
Yeah, I've heard other people say they don't like it either. Do you like to sweat?
I don't care either way.
Yeah, because that's another complaint that over the years of my activities, I've had friends who say, "Oh, I don't want to do that. I sweat." It's like, what? That's wonderful.
It's so funny people have views on sweat because some people don't want to sweat and other people don't feel like they've worked out until they sweat. They love it.
Yeah.
You either love it or you hate it.
Well, it's a great detox, I mean, your
Yeah.
skin will detox stuff out of there, but no, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, so she gives you the idea that if you're thinking that maybe you've been a little too sedentary, and that is something that is so easy for Americans to become because we drive a lot, we sit a lot, and we like comfort and we like to watch. And so that's not very active unless you intentionally change your style a little bit. But she says, okay, if you're a beginner doing this, here's where we would start. And if you think you're somewhere along the line, here's the intermediate. But if you're advanced, we've got some help for you too.
I really like that she breaks that down because some people will jump into intermediate or
I'm
advanced.
guilty of that. I do that.
And they get burnt out. You do that?
Yeah, because I've been active and then I'm inactive and I think, oh, I can go back to what I was doing or maybe a little more. It's like 2 days and I'm out again because I overdid it.
Yeah.
And I don't have the patience to step back. It's like, oh, I got to step back and do stuff that doesn't even push me. Ooh, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And then some people don't even start because they don't see the beginner options available to them, right? They think, oh, well, I haven't worked out in a year and now I got to go into the body pump class and keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
So I like that she breaks it down. And and she says, choose exercise that meets your current fitness level, not where you wish you were, but where you really
Yeah,
are.
and that's me, yes. But she's got some other advice in there too. But her foundations of training, she talks about different phases of training lead to specific physical adaptations. Choose each specific phase based on your training level. And here are our SMART goals again. So she does, even though she sets standards, she does use the SMART goal system. And she's talking about the 5 phases would be stabilization, where you need the ability to provide stability, and then you need muscular endurance, and then building muscle hypertrophy, and then muscle strength, and then power. And I thought that was kind of an interesting tease out too. Gives you a little, okay, that's why I have to maybe go slow to get into this.
Exactly. And then the stabilization, you're maybe just doing body work, right? That foundation of having balance and flexibility. And then, okay, now you're feeling stable. You can move up to being able to sustain more prolonged exercise. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And she gives you good reasons for that. So, hey, if you're as interested in prevention as I am, contact me, Eleanor Russell, at 360health, 4u.com. Whether you're interested in financial wellness or physical health products, 360 Health invites you to become part of our community. Well, doesn't she talk about personalities of the worker at her?
She does, and I think that's really fun.
I did too.
So I think this is something that links this to real life, is that, you know, we all come at different exercise levels, experience, and appreciate that she doesn't just assume we all have the same amount of time and motivation and desire to work out. So she kind of puts you into these categories and says, do what works for you. So do you want to talk about those? Or you want me to share them?
Oh, I'll let you share them.
Okay. So number 1 is the performer, someone who loves the stage and maybe needs competition or a goal. So you could easily, if you're a performer, you can easily go into any gym and do your thing, right? Mm-hmm. That is not me. Is that you?
No.
Okay. The solo act, someone who thrives alone, but just maybe needs a good plan. It's not me either. How about you?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. The chameleon can blend in, maybe does really well with group exercises, maybe a workout community, will be happy just about anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the reluctant, this is interesting. So someone who struggles to show up and needs a bit more privacy. I see this often. And she recommends virtual reality workouts.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I would say I'm probably struggling to show up, but I do not do well with this virtual workout or a tonal mirror. That would not work for me because I wouldn't show up for that either. Mm-hmm. So part of me needs the group or a buddy or just getting in the groove.
Yeah.
Getting it started.
Do you need the group or buddy for accountability, or just you don't want to be alone doing it?
Probably for activation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just that initiation, which is what one of the things in my business we talk about. Exercise has phases. You've got to initiate it, you got to maintain it, and then you got to recover from it. And there are ways to support yourself while you're doing that. And the initiation phase, they say even elite athlete performers still struggle to start. You know, it's like, I know I need to do it, I should do it, but I don't feel like doing it right now.
Yeah.
And
you put
that's
it
where
off.
she says, don't rely on motivation.
Exactly.
It is fleeting.
Yeah, and you know, we've talked about motivation in some of our other books too, whether it's internal or external.
Yeah.
And where I'm saying I need a little external help, but really I've got to transfer that to internal. And it's a belief, I guess, or a standard
that identity standard.
That standard that I will not let myself be someone who doesn't work out 3 times a week. That's not who I am. You know, I need to talk that up a lot. And I guess I could modify the workout. It's just intense movement or something.
Yeah. And so her recommendations are 3 to 4 times a week for strength training, which for me, I'm not sure that I'll ever work my way up to that. I'm just being honest here. I'm just being honest. Because when I did have, I went to a workout facility that you could go 5 days a week. And some people did. And I just needed more recovery time than that. And I also follow this gal that she's great. Her business is Moms into Fitness. And she kind of focuses on 40 plus. And she's a fitness expert. And her recommendation is only 2 to 3 times a week. Because where is your recovery time? Where's your just kind of walking time? So I don't know. I think resistance is really important. And maybe we don't need it as much as she's saying. Just like in the past episode, you said you don't want to be a
lab rat.
Lab rat. I don't want to be in the gym every day. Sorry, I don't. It's important to me, and
that's
I love
not who
it,
you are.
But
Yeah. And that thing again about each of us are individuals, and we should learn to listen to our own bodies instead of which part of her thing is no, listen to me. You know, it's like, well, yeah, I am, but I'm also going to listen to me.
Yeah.
And I hope that my standards are such that I won't let myself skate by, but I don't want to hurt myself, and I don't want to change that fundamental who I am.
Right. Spoken with wisdom from a true health geek.
Oh, you got to go there. I love it. So she has some frequently asked questions. I like the structure of her book. She's got great plans that you can take and modify if you wanted to, and at the different levels. And she explains why and how. I mean, she tells you how to do some of these exercises, right?
Yeah.
She's very specific. And I don't know. I just, it's it's not her whole book.
No, it's just a couple chapters.
Yeah, right.
But very informative. You can get a lot out of it.
Well, Yeah, and then she does have that idea of mind setting in here. You know, we've talked about other parts of her book, but she does in each chapter have a mindset section. Yeah, in this particular discussion of exercise, she said, let's think of our workout together as constructing the house of your dreams. The building blocks consist of 5 fundamental attributes that each of us has within: courage, perseverance, self-discipline. See, that's my little weakness. Adaptability, and resilience. All of us have some hardwiring to contend with if we want to make a change. And so that's kind of what I was talking about. So she does address some of this in here. It's like, yeah, okay, let's talk about who are you. But these are some of the elements that you're faced with if you're going to have this healthy, muscle-centric body. And her whole thing is if your muscles are happy, you're going to be happy. And I do fundamentally agree with her.
Yeah.
Because I've always said I think the most important thing anybody does is move their body. It's more important than what you put in your mouth. But we're learning that what you put in your mouth is going to help you move your body.
Yeah.
So there's no one is better than the other, but I sometimes fall out on that. If you can't do anything, move. It'll change your attitude. All sorts of things happen when you move.
Absolutely. You know, she keeps it very real. She will say, choose your hard, right? It's going to be hard to get moving. But like you said, it's worth it. It has lots of benefits. And then on the flip side, she will kind of drip these things in there for the people who maybe, on the contrary, have a hard time resting or have a hard time stopping or have a hard time not overdoing it. Yeah. So this is hilarious. She says, what if I fall off? She says, don't be an asshole to yourself.
I love that. I love it.
It is done. In my practice, I have seen patients continue to beat themselves up daily for falling off their plan. This never ends well. Buddhist teachings give us the concept of the second arrow. The first arrow is the initial experience of pain from a failing, a slight, or an attack. Sometimes the first arrow is self-inflicted, other times not. Either way, life comes with first arrows. That's just the way it is. The second arrow, on the other hand, is the one you can control. That is the one you can jab into yourself in the form of negative self-talk, globalizing, self-shame, poor me narratives, or any number of other scripts. I say when that first painful arrow comes, pull it out fast. Don't shoot yourself with another.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Buddha's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some wisdom statements. So I think that kind of wraps up our little conversation on training, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Are we going to leave them with any sort of challenges or anything? We could.
I would say pick your baseline. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? And that kind of goes back to how long you've been out of exercise, right? Okay, so determine your training status. A beginner, if you have been out of exercise for 8 or more months, that's you. If you're maybe an intermediate, if you've had some experience between 2 to 12 months of exercise and training, but you've been out for maybe 4 to 8 months. And then advanced, she says your training experience, you have 1 to 3 years, and maybe you have been out of exercise for between 1 and 4 months. So does that make, do you think that's what she's saying? So pick your baseline, find some places to begin, maybe find that support and accountability and build your environment up for what might work for you, and get out there and move.
Yeah. Didn't you also say something about, well, I'm going to say it. We read a book by the glucose goddess, right? What was that? The Glucose Revolution?
Yeah.
And she's very controversial.
She is.
And Dr. Ids, and we read his book, Saturated Facts, takes her on a lot. He's not really happy with her.
But she does have some.
I thought so. And one of the things that she said that I think is an easy place to start is after you have your meal, get up and take a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
And when you do, try that once. It's like, I want to do that again. You know, you get that reinforcement of, that's a good suggestion. I think I'll do that again. And once you get that, I like doing it rather than I have to do this because I was told I'll be healthy if I do all these things that the Dr. Lyon. No, I want to. Once that flips inside you, I think the gate's open.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it's important, I guess, there to not overeat when the eat. You shouldn't do that anyway, but if you overeat, you're not going to feel like going out and walking, no matter how much you want to. So just be mindful, I would say, and listen to me, the overeater here, that just be mindful of how much you're intaking so you can get rid of it.
Yeah, easier. And maybe you could even say, okay, halfway through, I'm going to get up and go take a walk, and then that would stop your eating.
And then because you could say, if I still want it when I get back, I can eat it.
Yeah, because my problem is, this is a whole different subject, but I eat fast. I have always eaten fast, so I don't know that I'm full.
Yeah, your brain doesn't catch up
until much later.
Yeah, that glucagon signaling that's so in the news these days, glucagon-like protein.
GLP-1, yep.
Yeah, and am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Glucagon, yeah. And it's the signal that tells your brain you're full. Mm-hmm. And so it takes a while for that to circulate. So when you are a fast eater, sometimes you get ahead of that signaling and that idea of maybe
when you feel bad afterwards.
Yeah, and so,
So if you have the goal to get out and walk after your meal,
do it in the middle of it.
There's so many benefits, right? It will remind you to not overeat, to stop before you feel uncomfortably full. It'll help you digest your meal. It'll help you get out in nature if you're going outside.
I love that.
So many benefits. So I like that. Leave it. Let's try that at home. Let's take an after meal walk. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm Kristen Norton. I'm one of the registered dietitians at Well Balanced Nutrition. I invite you to visit us at wellbalancednutrition.com and check out our nutrition coaching, our blog, maybe set up a free clarity call to have a conversation with one of our dietitians. We'd be happy to chat. We're a North Carolina-based business. And
I'm Eleanor at 360health, 4u.com. And I like to work with people who are exercising or getting ready to start exercising because, as I mentioned, there's those phases of workout, the initiation, the endurance, and then the recovery. And I have some products that can help you maximize your workout. Eleanor Russell, 360 Health, making healthy happen.
And opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and are not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting company. This podcast is copyrighted, and no part can be reproduced without the expressed written consent of Kristen and Eleanor.